Oh, good morning. Here is the daily market analysis. I decided I was going to start doing this. Tesla's at 369. Nice. Let me turn this down a bit. So, what's going on with the markets? Yeah. I'm going to start with today. So, this is, if you look on the bottom here, here's different time frames, right? This is very important to pay attention to because they kind of, making money is all about like when did you get in, and did you get in at the peak or did you get in at the bottom? A lot of people are saying that we're at the bottom right now, but yeah, let's like take a closer look. And a lot of people, I guess, I don't know why, but apparently looking at charts like these is kind of unusual. Most people just like look at one thing, right? And they're like, Bitcoin price. And then, they just like, oh my God, it's going up. Oh my God, it's going down, and then it's up. And then 1 month up and down, you know. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, cause this is just like a trend in an isolated. This is like just a line in a vacuum, right? I like to do comparative analysis. Maybe that's the word. So I have all of these. These are mostly crypto coins, and I kind of pay very close attention to all of them. But I also keep in tabs on like things like oil. That's this thing that happened this week. Gold, silver, and then the stock market's also in there too. So, there's not really much to say about this week aside from the fact that oil went up, right? And you can draw your conclusions from that. Obviously, it's related to the war, right? But since we're looking mostly at crypto, I've been finding the 3 month chart the most useful because if you go all the way back, let's say like a year, right? I feel like, and this is the part where it becomes subjective, is that I feel like starting this year, the mood of the crypto ecosystem has changed like quite significantly, right? I'm seeing a lot less shill posts because we had kind of a downward pressure for so long. A lot of people are dropping out. Yeah, and then I see a lot of posts, like pretty depressing posts, where it's just like, crypto is over, you know. But that happens every cycle, and the landscape has gotten a lot more quieter in the last few months, and I believe it started around the beginning of this year, right? Which is like 3 months ago. So that's kind of my reference point whenever I make any like sort of point or arguments about like what I think things are going. So these days the markets are so volatile in like pretty much everything. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on, right? Gold. So gold and silver this year still doing well, right? 20 plus 24. Oil is up 50%. It was even more before. This is nuts, right? It was almost like 100%. But it kind of corrected itself a bit. Silver. So the precious metals people have been like talking a lot because they feel like kind of vindicated, right? Even if it's not as high as it used to be, they're still like, told you so. Stock markets are actually they're kind of flat, so they haven't really gotten anywhere, and so you don't really hear too much about people talking about stocks, at least as a whole, right? You can talk about like AI stuff. If you didn't know, so for like Wall Street stuff, it's important to know more than half of trades are automated now. More than half. So there's no human involved. It just runs according to algorithm. And the other part is that AI stock growth is keeping up Wall Street like 80%. So if the AI bubble pops, I think it's more of a when than an if. But if it pops, this could go crazy. You know, it's probably going to dip. And my prediction is that stocks are probably going to join the rest of us, you know, in negative gains hell in crypto. You know, I really do think stocks are overpriced, and really the reality of the markets is actually closer to what crypto is right now. Like crypto is ahead of its time, even in the shitty things. So, yeah. But okay, let's talk about crypto. So, okay, see, the one good thing, and you may have noticed this, is that this XU308 USD, what is that? That is uranium.io. And if you're in Tezos, you know about this because XU. This is the owning physical uranium RWA, real world assets, right? So Tezos is the only place where you can own like physical uranium, or at least token shares of it. So this is very unique. This only exists on this platform. But see, the one good thing that Tezos has going for it is that it's doing well. Everything else is minus 20% or more, but this token itself is doing well. And I know a few people in Tezos who have invested in that, and they're doing okay with this, you know. So this is like worth talking about, you know, especially if you're like talking to like finance people who only cares about price action, right? Like you can point to this and be like, hey, wow. And it's powered by Tezos. Tezos itself is not doing great, but it's doing relatively less bad than everyone else, you know, at least starting this year, right? So yeah, you know, the race changes, you know, depending on, you know, what time frame you use. But overall, if you're like looking at this year as some kind of change happened, like we're not doing that bad. Especially since Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash does not have any staking rewards, right? Bitcoin has no mechanism for that. So the crypto assets that are doing this well, doing the best this year. I'm not saying good. They're not doing good. They're doing better. Is actually Tezos and Cosmos, and I won't really get into this, but Cosmos has like their main benefit for owning Cosmos is that they have a very, very high staking rewards. So include staking rewards, 9%. This Cosmos is like 13, 12. I don't know. It's very high. It's kind of, I don't know how they maintain it, but that's what it is. And you know, if so, you include like our like staking rewards, Tezos is probably doing better than Bitcoin right now, honestly, right? It's only a 3% difference. And if you hold it for longer than 6 months or 9 months or whatever, you're doing better. And then, of course, there's everything else down here, which is like not doing great. And that's why when you, you know, look at Brian Armstrong's tweets and whatnot. It's just like, you know, it's just like you can tell they're panicking, right? They're just like, oh yeah, Coinbase recently started offering stocks because, you know, oh no, stocks is not doing that great either, but it's like, well, it's doing better than us, so yeah. So it's just like a rough time for the markets, you know, and you can kind of see it in the tone of like how they talk about it as well. So. So yeah, that's kind of it. So I'm gonna be making these little short videos, just doing analysis. I used to do this a lot, actually. I used to post these videos on TradingView. Maybe I should start doing that again. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, this is live stream, by the way, so I just do everything live and then I create clips later. I used to do. I wonder if it's still here. Settings. Ideas. Yeah, ideas. Remember, see all these? I used to do a lot. 2024. That's like a trillion years ago. 2023. Some of them did really well. I got editor's pick. Oh yeah, this one not bad. 155, but maybe I'll upload again and see what happens. But anyway, where does it go from here, right? So are we at the bottom? Are we at the rock bottom of crypto and, you know, finally ready to recover? Well, it depends. It's kind of, there's still, like I said, there's a lot less noise in the markets right now. I think a lot of people dropped out because they got demoralized, right, from just this for too long. And, you know, the news, the reason why Bitcoin Cash is doing better is because they, after the news that Jeffrey Epstein might have been involved in the development of Bitcoin, that took a tank, you know, that was like just another hit, right, that the Bitcoin people didn't need. And then, but Bitcoin Cash is like, we told you, we're the real Bitcoin. We didn't have, you know, they're the ones that forked off into a separate project because, you know, they wanted to develop Bitcoin in basically the argument was that they needed bigger block sizes to bring down gas fees or transaction fees. And, you know, for what it's worth, they have been working on it, like, in good faith for a while. I don't know about now, but the counter argument to that is that, well, it's still based on Bitcoin, and, you know, is it good enough? It's like increasing the block size good enough? Seems pretty like a band-aid solution, right, to a lot of people. So, but it is better, and probably it's true that a lot of Bitcoin people converted. So that's why it's neck and neck now. But for me personally, I'm waiting for MicroStrategy to shut down, because that's just like an egregious example of like fiat money. It basically, MicroStrategy is someone borrowing money from Wall Street to buy Bitcoin. That's it. That's all the whole company is. They don't do anything else. And that's why they have like Michael Saylor just going around just saying a bunch of nonsense and then trying to get people in, right? And it's clearly a Ponzi. If you want to own Bitcoin, just buy Bitcoin, man. Just buy Bitcoin and put it in your wallet, and that's all you have to do. But he's not doing that. He's like trying to get fiat money and then using that as a, yeah, I don't know. And there's like no reason for the company to exist, like on any level. So, and you know, Michael Saylor is a known fraud. He ripped a lot of people off during the .com boom, and his company collapsed. And this is just another. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get this sometimes, you know. Like, and people just willingly give him money just because he's on the news. But anyway, if you get, I feel like if MicroStrategy goes under, and unless Bitcoin doubles in price like overnight, he is screwed, like so screwed. So I think a lot of people are waiting for it because it's just like kind of an obvious signal, right? So, but I think we're pretty close to the bottom-ish, you know? Like, it's kind of hard to, well, I'll never say never, but it is kind of bottoming out, and not just in price, but also in the way people talk about it. So that's the big difference that happened starting this year. Okay, well, that's enough. I think that's enough finance stuff for today, and yeah, make a clip of this and see where it goes. So, all right, have a good one, and see you next time.